name of the project was the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission milepost 44 to 48, widening and reconstruction project. So the challenges on the project included a very aggressive schedule, coordinating the bulk excavation along with the construction of 2 mainline bridges, 6 retaining walls, 8 culvert extensions. Then you add in stream restrictions due to the trout season, endangered species, and then along with all that, all of those structures had temporary shoring associated with them that were very challenging to construct and maintain and allow access to the work zone. Partnering was successful on this project because the team was committed to partnering from the very beginning. Partnering is a lot more than workshops, team building exercises, and evaluations. It's about a mindset, it's about a way of doing business, and it's about leadership most of all. This project was completed in a span of 2.5 years. For an $80 million widening project, we were able to complete it on time and on budget. Because of partnering, the job ended up being very profitable for us. In return, the Turnpike Commission received a high-quality highway product. They also got to save their contingency amount, put towards more projects. All in all, it really was a win-win solution for the whole team.
Project from the scoping field view to completion of construction took 6 years, and that is an amazing feat in itself. Projects of this magnitude sometimes take 10 years to complete through design and construction. That wouldn't have been possible without all the different efforts that came through with the partnering. The project was undertaking to close 2 interchanges that were in close proximity and replace them with 1 interchange. The project also widened the interstate for 1.8 miles for complete reconstruction and added 3rd lanes in both the eastbound and westbound direction between the new interchange and the turnpike. The interchange is controlled by a series of roundabouts, and roundabouts are the most safe and most efficient way to move traffic through the area, and that also helped to reduce the congestion throughout the interchange. The existing interchange had substandard sight distance, and the crash rating in that area was 13 times the normal rate for the state of Pennsylvania. There were several structures on the project that were structurally deficient and did not meet the vertical clearance to go over the interstate, so they were either replaced or rehabilitated with this project. In order to get this done, the contractor worked 6 days a week, 24 hours a day for nearly 2 years. Traffic flowing through the interchange now, it flows through without a hitch. There's never any complications. Center Avenue, which was a heavily congested area, now does not see any backups. Everything flows through, and the businesses are happy. The community's happy, and overall, getting feedback from everybody, it's been a positive project.
We have seen tremendous growth in our truck traffic. I-78 corridor is a high accident corridor. The overall goal is to not only reconstruct the I-78, but also improve the safety. The old interchange and the overhead bridge, they were built in 1956, and so obviously they don't meet the current design standards. The bridge was getting hit continuously. That was a huge issue, just not from the safety point of view, but also just to keep maintaining was a challenge. We started late, and on the day 1 of the contract, the project was 253 days behind its original schedule. So the first order of business was to bring the project on track. For us at PennDOT, the project delivery is very important. For this project, we completed ahead of the schedule. Still, it's on budget, and I think we got the quality work done by the contractor. The way the project team worked together to achieve the common goals, I think that was the biggest thing behind the success of this project. That they were able to find the common goal, and then they worked tirelessly to achieve those goals.
Pennsylvania Turnpike owns jointly with the New Jersey Turnpike Authority the Delaware River Bridge. There was a fracture discovered in one of the truss members on the bridge. It caused a great bit of concern because it was what's known as a fracture critical member on the bridge, which means if that member is fractured, it can possibly collapse. What was done immediately, all traffic was removed from the bridge and traffic underneath the bridge was detoured to avoid the area. Initially put in what we called a temporary splice, which was basically to keep that fractured member from continuing to move. The second thing that was done was we went in and built shoring towers, basically act as a catcher's mitt to catch the bridge if it would happen to fall. We went in and used those shoring towers to vertically lift with jacks the structure back vertically into its geometry. Then there was a final splice that was done to basically reconnect the fractured ends of the member. It was all done in 49 days from the time when the fracture was discovered until everything was completed. Folks were working around the clock. When you try and do something like this, you try and get your best people on board for it. In the end, everybody just wanted to get the bridge open safely, do it as quickly as possible, but maintain the fact that we were sure that we had worked through all the problems and everything. It was safe to do so.
The slide that we remediated has been going on for millions of years. The slide moves from 8 to 12 inches per year, and it causes a maintenance issue and a safety issue for the turnpike. Our project was to remediate that area, which during the original turnpike construction, the alignment was adjusted both vertically and horizontally in order to miss the slide, or at least minimize the impact on the slide. That realignment caused the curve to be outside of the turnpike's criteria. Underneath the slide mast, there's a layer of material, the slide plane, which was causing the hillside to slide. The project was to remove the material off the top of the slide plane, excavate out the slide plane, then replace the material back on top of the area where the slide plane was removed. That's a project that's never been done before. The project not only eliminated a maintenance issue that the turnpike's been fighting for 70 years, but it created a safer environment for the traveling public. The partnering issue led to the success of the project. There's no question about that. I mean, we had things that came up in this project that, as I said, were unique and had never been done before. Being able to work closely with the contractor and the really good relationship we had with Independence Excavating made the project a success, no question about it.
A 101 to 104 project was a pavement rehabilitation. We basically took a 4-lane section of the northeast extension and rebuilt it ground up to put it back into service, basically reset the clock for that section. Construction went pretty well. I mean, we got it done in 141 days. Was total construction from the time we went into single lanes to the time we came back out of single lanes, so 4 lanes to 4 lanes. But in the meantime, we took customers down to a single lane traffic pattern for an extended period of time, which is something that we don't typically do. We're customer driven, so we like to maintain 4 lanes during high volumes. This was a different kind of project. Usually we have 2 lanes available all times, so if we have an accident, there's usually a lane available, or we can make a lane available to get fire and EMS to it. So it was making everyone aware of, hey, you might have to access this coming the wrong way inside the cattle chutes, or you might actually have to access this through the construction zone and work up and over concrete median barrier. Overall, it was a great partnering effort, and our design team was Borton Lawson and Earth Incorporated for our geotechnical sides. The contractor was Pikes Creek, and really all these people went above and beyond, putting their best foot forward to make this a successful project. They knew what our goal was, and they were an active participant to help us get that goal.
This project was a full bridge replacement. We replaced a 3-span steel plate girder bridge with a single-span steel plate girder bridge. We proposed the new abutments in front of the existing abutments, so we were able to build them during the use of the existing bridge. And then during our weekend closure, we demolished the existing superstructure, slid the new bridge into place, all in the 55-hour weekend closure. Costs can be saved because we don't have to over-widen the bridge. When you have to maintain 2 lanes of traffic during construction, you often have to widen the bridge excessively in order to maintain traffic on the outside while you can construct the inside of the bridge. We had an extensive traffic management plan that we put into place. We worked closely with PennDOT District 5 to make sure that all traffic was able to circumvent the area during this closure. We had a great team. We worked with RoadCon as a contractor, as well as HDR, our designer, and Larson Design Group, who was the contractor's designer. Being able to replace a bridge in 55 hours is quite a feat. We had to coordinate with all local municipalities as well as PennDOT, and also having to demolish a bridge and replace it within 55 hours is a very difficult task and was performed very well by our contractors. The superstructure replacement of Bridge WB 224B is the first time we used accelerated bridge construction on the Turnpike. The project was a great success. We started looking at a bridge replacement project where we would over-widen the bridge. It was going to be much more expensive and much more time-consuming. We decided to use accelerated bridge construction because of the speed of the construction process. Accelerated bridge construction, we can replace a bridge when we only impact traffic for a 55-hour weekend closure instead of a 2-year construction project. Well, what we do is we build the bridges off alignment and we slide them into place over a weekend closure. The number one reason that we decided to go with an accelerated bridge construction replacement was because of safety. We were able to avoid having a lot of the workers adjacent to live traffic during the weekend closure. It's not an easy task to be able to replace a bridge in 55 hours, from sliding it to an adjacent position into place over 55 hours, with demolishing the entire existing bridge in that time frame. All the partners worked really well together. SPK was involved during the construction, as well as Tunstall and Bremen. Coordination and communication, all lines of communication were kept open throughout the project, and that helped a lot.
The Sagertown Roundabout project was a unique project in District 1. There was some issues with congestion and traffic control in the borough of Sagertown. So we took a look at different alternatives and we came up with 2 roundabouts, one at the northern end of town and one at the southern end of town. Some of the key benefits were reduced delay for the motorists that were involved compared to a stop situation or a traffic signal. Less idling, waiting for a light to turn green. Some of the challenges were the school district is located really close to the northern roundabout, and at 3 o'clock every day the buses all start rolling down the hill toward the intersection, and it always backed up traffic. So we had to figure out a way with our traffic control to do a lot of the work over the summer, and we worked with the school district extensively on that. Some of the other things that we took a look at was the design of the roundabout itself had to accommodate oversized vehicles. So the roundabout itself is more of an oval shape as opposed to a circle. With the 2 roundabouts, the southern one was the first roundabout that we believe that was designed by in-house PennDOT staff. A lot of the other roundabouts across the state have been designed by consultant engineers. One of the nice things about the roundabouts is it's a gateway into the community. They dressed them up really nice and they're aesthetically pleasing. And since there's no traffic signal, there's no timings to keep up with and nothing to maintain.
As this project moved forward, it really started as a roadway improvement project or a pavement improvement project. But as we moved forward, we realized that to provide some traffic calming is that we were going to reduce the lane widths. Then we could provide wider shoulders, which would accommodate bike lanes. And then we also had a separate pedestrian path. But those were things that kind of grew out of the community involvement that we had and the public input telling us what was important. There was a lot of work going back and forth with municipalities as to what they were going to be comfortable with, what kind of lane widths we were going to provide, how wide the bike lanes were going to be, what separation we needed for the pedestrian path. That was one of the challenges, was just to come up with what the scope of the project was going to be. The project turned out to be a success because the municipalities ended up with what they were asking for. They got an improved ride quality with an actual reduced travel speed through the area, so the traffic calming that they were looking for, and the roadway network that we provided, along with the multimodal connections, really provided them with a system that meets their current needs along with the future needs also. So I really believe that for us and the community, that this project was viewed as a success.
This project entailed a couple different things. We added a third lane between North and South Junction on Interstate 70, and we also redid a substandard cloverleaf intersection at the 19 interchange of 70, and we made it a diverging diamond interchange. This new type of interchange actually reduces conflict points, and all the left turns at the interchange are now merging instead of turning in front of the through traffic. So the angle crashes will not happen anymore because there's no left turns in front of the through traffic. So it's a much greater safety benefit. The acceleration and deceleration lanes are now up to code, where before they were substandard, so it enhances safety, and the capacity through the whole interchange and the interstate is increased. I think it's a great project. I'm very happy because going through that interchange before, you didn't really get that sense of safety. The acceleration and deceleration lanes were short. It was congested in that area. And now it's kind of free-flowing. Traffic flows better, it's safer. When talking to the public and talking to the municipalities, to the state police, they're all very happy with how it turned out. They have told us that it is of great safety benefits through the area. And the fact that we didn't have to buy any businesses and that we had very minimal right-of-way takes, that is pretty amazing for a project of this size.
The original section of trail was built in 1999, and this would close the 3-mile gap in the Powder Mill section. The Lackawanna Heritage Valley applied for the funding to complete the trail, and that included Archibald Borough, German Borough, Lackawanna River Basin Authority. The Powder Mill section will now connect 6 municipalities completely, closing that gap. The project consisted of trail reconstruction, construction of new sidewalks, ADA ramps, crosswalks, and signage. The Lackawanna River Basin Authority section included a new paved road with trail adjacent to the paved road. There was also a trailhead built for parking. Community outreach was done extensively for this project because of the different municipalities involved. It's such an enjoyable experience to walk along this trail because the trees, the birds, you're along the Lackawanna River, which is a Class A high-value trout stream, and there's always something beautiful to see in the area. The total economic impact as of 2016 was $91.9 million for trail users. This included 315,000 people annually on the trail. It has created not only community connections, but provides tourism, economic development, and improves the quality of life in the area.
Thanks to Secretary Richards, this is one of her major strategic focus areas, is to focus on diversity. And I have seen people looking at things differently. Even something as simple as an interview. We're making sure we have both women and men represented on the interview panel in every interview, because that also provides a different perspective sometime when you're interviewing. We started a few months ago, and we're moving on pretty strong right now. One of the things we're going to be doing in May is we're going to be having a summit of all of our supervisors and managers in the district. We're having an outside person come in and kind of explain things like unconscious bias and things that maybe our folks maybe never even heard about that affect inclusion and hiring and promoting in the office. So that's one of the bigger initiatives we have. We actually recently had what was called a Girl Day at a middle school in Pittsburgh Public Schools, where we had about 6 or 7 of our engineers go down and present to some of the African American middle school students in the Pittsburgh Public Schools, and it was extremely successful. A lot of the kids we're trying to reach do not have maybe role models that are engineers, but they're great kids and great students. So we're trying to reach out and say, hey, you can be this. We have a lot of new ideas we'd like to try, and the great thing about this program is a lot of people are on board. Every meeting we have, there's still a lot of energy, there's still a lot of excitement, and there's still a lot of folks that are bringing new ideas to the table.
This project is the reconstruction of a portion of Interstate 70 in the Centerville, Washington County area. This project played a great role in fostering diversity. By the size of the project, allowed us to have training hours for 3 trainees on the project. On this particular project, we were able to train an operator, a carpenter, and a laborer. So 3 different crafts were able to be trained for over 1,000 hours each. The training program is to encourage and bring in more people to the industry, and females and minorities is the target. Big benefit to this project and to our industry is to bring diversity into the industry, and we were able to do so with females and minorities onto the project to learn how to perform the work and become journeymen. This is an ongoing program that's been going on in the Federal Highway Administration on projects that you're a prime contractor. They evaluate to determine how many trainees the job can facilitate during the construction. And over the years, we've been able to hire back for 2nd or 3rd year trainings towards their journeymen. And we've also maintained some of the journeymen upon completion of their trainee program and apprentice programs be able to come journeymen and work for us full time. And that's ultimately the goal, to bring the people into the industry and get their career started.
Future Road Builders was designed in order to engage more minorities and females and educate them as to the possibilities and benefits of a career in highway construction. What we wanted to do was to develop actually a virtual
construction site that people could go on, interact with characters, find out whether or not a career in highway construction was meant for them.
The game is designed in a way where you explore a virtual construction site and you interact with a very diverse group of people working in highway construction. You learn about their trade or what they're working on. You learn about the apprenticeship program.
With Future Road Builders, we're going into the schools, talking to young students. They're able to play the game, interact with the game, play other mini micro games that have been created that are specific to various tasks in construction, and then understand what the next steps to apply to various union apprenticeship programs throughout Western Pennsylvania. We're very happy with the success we've seen, not only in the quality of applicants, but also the fact that we have been able to communicate with a more diverse population, and we're seeing more diverse candidates apply, be selected, and are now currently working in the highway construction industry as apprentices.
Having the opportunity to go through this internship program was obviously one of the most life-changing opportunities I had, because not only did it give me a chance to work in my field, but it also gave me a chance to work with people I probably never would have had the chance to. The interns have the opportunity that the first day they sit down with the CEO and the COO and they give them a project that they work on all summer. Interns are from different departments throughout the whole turnpike. So I was in engineering, I worked with a couple from finance, there was some in accounting, human resources, and so it gave us a lot of different perspectives. So we were able to work in our departments based on what our majors were in college, but then we came together and worked on this project that the CEO had assigned to us. I don't think there's something quite like it anywhere else I've seen. It was a really good opportunity, and I think it's a great way to be progressive in our industry. The idea that we're going to go out and recruit people of diverse ages, of diverse races, of diverse socioeconomic classes, and say, we want you. We want our industry to be more diverse. We want those different perspectives. It's a win-win for everybody. I'd like for this to inspire other programs of similar caliber to try and reach out and get people to say, we want you, even if you've never considered us before. It's a pretty cool opportunity.